we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we ultimately cannot take anything with us. All we carry with us is how our souls have grown and evolved, and what we have learned, and how much we have loved.
What if the best chapter of your life hasn't even begun yet? What lies within you is the power to live brighter, bolder, and truer than ever before. So welcome to Vivatude, where caregiving, connections, and career come into balance, and where your vitality, vision, and voice shines through. Because the revolution isn't out there, it's already within you. Welcome to Vivatude.
Hello and welcome to Vivatude. I'm your host, Lauren Archer, for emotional and spiritual wellness. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about thresholds, those phases of life where we are ready to step beyond old familiar ways of being, across a invisible energetic threshold, into the unknown, where we call upon ourselves to embody, to become the person that we want to be. And that requires courage. It requires vulnerability. It requires being willing to let go of things that aren't working and letting go of the familiar. And it requires living up to our own ideas of our highest and best self. Now, what I just mentioned there, those are all qualities of the heart. And so I want to pause for a moment and invite you to check in with yourself, where you are in your evolution of your life, and think about what threshold you may be getting ready to cross. For many of us at this time of year, we are taking a step back to look at what we're letting go of in the previous year, maybe what we've accomplished, what we're proud of, what lessons we learned, and then making plans, setting goals and resolutions for the new year. And I'd like to invite you to pause for a moment before you go into all the planning, and to connect with your own heart. Now, the heart is a center of intelligence, and it functions differently than the mind. The mind is all about the external and the logic and the reasonable and rational and all of the external things that we want to do. Like, what are the steps to get things done, and how do I make the plan? And that's important, and we want to make time and space for that. And it's also important to connect with your heart energy, which I think of as the portal to your soul. As you move forward into this next phase of your life, let's take a moment to just check in with what qualities of yourself might you be ready to let go of. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a way of being in relationship. Maybe it's needing to set better boundaries or needing to show up more fully. Maybe it's letting go of, spending or eating a certain way. Whatever it is for you, just take a moment to think about what you're letting go of, and how letting go of who you have been opens up the space energetically in your heart for who you could be. And I'll give you an example. In my case, I have stepped across the threshold from living in the United States, in Bothell, Washington, 24/7, to now being able to live and work remotely in other places as a digital nomad. What I had to let go of was a lot of things in my familiar environment. I had to let go of a certain degree of stability. I had to let go of paper files so that I could do everything digitally. I had to let go of working in a certain time zone. So many more things, but that's just one example. And then stepping into the expanded version of yourself, what might that be as you cross this threshold to the next year? What parts of yourself can you open up to that would feel good? And I encourage you to think about qualities of the heart. So those would be things like courage and compassion and vulnerability and opening up to your authentic self, being able to speak your truth, express your gifts and talents in a new way. And that can be scary. It's vulnerable for me right now to be here talking to you in this format, as opposed to being the person behind the scenes with the microphone and a full script and knowing exactly what words are going to come out next. So I'm taking a risk right here by stepping into speaking naturally, speaking off the cuff, speaking from my own experience. For you, what might that be? It might be moving to a new place where you don't necessarily know all the people or have things all figured out. It might be taking a risk with a new venture, a professional venture, a collaboration, a hobby, an artistic expression. And one of the things about the time we live in right now, I want to encourage you. There's all kinds of doom and gloom stories out there right now. And I want to encourage you to know that you are not a statistic. And while certain things are shifting in the world and certain opportunities, certain doors may seem to be closing, there are also more opportunities than we have ever had and new possibilities for how we can show up and express ourselves in the world. So remember that you're not a statistic. And as you connect with your heart, you're going to be listening to your own inner guidance. Remember that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we ultimately cannot take anything with us. All we carry with us is how our souls have grown and evolved, and what we have learned, and how much we have loved. So let's take a moment to do this together. I'm going to invite you to place your hand on your heart and just take a couple of long, slow, deep breaths. And as you do, if you'd like, you can close your eyes. I invite you to think about this past year. And first of all, pat yourself on the back, give yourself credit for the things that you have accomplished, the things that you've learned, the challenges you've faced, and the ways that you've grown. And now take a moment to just get a sense of what wants to be left behind in the past. What parts of you, your habits, your beliefs, your external situations feel restrictive that might be holding you back, that you could be ready to move beyond? And you don't have to have it all figured out now. This is not the time to figure out how. Just get a sense of what you want to let go of that will allow you the space energetically and maybe even in the physical world to step into that next authentic level for yourself. Good. Now, again, before we figure out how, we're going to pause with that awareness and just imagine for yourself creating the space in your heart for more lightness, for more courage, for more opportunities to express your authentic self, for ways that you can love more, to feel more connected, to express your divine gifts and talents that you came here with. And release any attachment to having to know what that is or what that looks like. Give yourself permission just for a moment here to lean into what that feels like. Good. Know that as you do that, your nervous system is rewriting your internal programming and it is setting up a pattern in your reticular activating system. That's your brain. So, as your body gets those good feelings of what it might feel like to live more authentically, more expressively, more courageously, your brain now automatically starts scanning your environment for the right situations and people and events, and the answers show up perhaps at the most unusual and unexpected times. So get ready to release any attachment to outcome, to have a relationship with the unknown where you're stepping into courage and confidence and curiosity about what's next for you. And listen, in the days and weeks to come, know that serendipities, synchronicities may occur when you least expect them, and you can pay attention to the signs from the universe. And I applaud you for being willing to dare to let go, letting go of who you thought you had to be, letting go of other people's expectations so that you can more fully and confidently step into the person that you know that you truly are and be willing to take that risk and to express yourself fully. This is Lauren Archer with Vivatude. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me here today. As we cross this threshold to the new season, I wish you bright blessings, love, abundance, prosperity, and good health. And until next time, may you breathe deeper, love wider, and show up with the energy that only you can bring. Thank you.
And thanks for listening to Vivatude. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.